Have you ever heard of abraxas? These are talismans in the shape of oblong shields, covered with motifs inspired by Egyptian, Greek, and Roman mythology, and engraved with Kabbalistic prayers, Hebrew words, and magical symbols. One could easily believe that these strange jewelry pieces belong to the wizards of tales and legends. And yet, they were made by a human hand. Popular during the Renaissance, an era obsessed with beauty, science, and esotericism, it comes as no surprise then that the Queen of France, the feared Catherine de Medici, had her very own abraxas. You're listening to Voice of Jewels, a podcast from L'École School of Jewelry Arts, supported by Cleef Arpels. Unveiling the stories and secrets behind history's most fascinating jewels. The Dauphin is in love with another woman, and he makes no secret of it. On this day in 1542, Catherine de Medici's heart feels heavy. Her husband, the Dauphin Henri, son of King François I, has chosen another woman as the object of his affections. The queen of his heart. She is no other than the Duchess Diane of Poitiers, Catherine's cousin. Yet Diane is twice the age of the future king, 40 years old, and Henri is barely 20. Catherine knows full well that her marriage is political, and that feelings have nothing to do with it. Nevertheless, she cannot help but feel worried, terrified even. For almost 5 years, Catherine de Medici has not been able to provide Her Majesty with an heir. The Dauphine is mysteriously sterile, and now, to add insult to injury, a terrible threat hangs over her, that of losing her status. As it is, her rival Diane has already been nicknamed the Almost Queen. Catherine wonders if she has been cursed. The agitated Medici heiress unconsciously strokes her necklace with her fingers. The cold touch of the metal sends a shiver down her spine. Suddenly, a strange intuition washes over her. A brilliant but crazy idea. Perhaps a jewel can save her.
Catherine de Medici is the sole heiress of the eldest branch of the Medici family, with their immense fortune.
Inezita Gay-Eckel, jewelry historian and teacher at L'École, School of Jewelry Arts.
She comes to France with a dowry. The numbers don't really help. Let's just imagine the equivalent of billions. An immense fortune, 100,000 écus in silver and 28,000 écus in gold. Let's not worry about that. But in jewelry, the beauty of her treasures is incredible also. And she has knowledge, she has education. She is really bearing all of that knowledge. She had great curiosity, and she even had a talent for jewelry herself.
Catherine arrives at Fernel's premises without an appointment. This latter is not a jeweler. He is a doctor, and not just any doctor. Jean Fernel is the preferred doctor of the Dauphin Henri, who brought him to court and pays him a lavish salary. This man of science is well known throughout the kingdom for his knowledge in all domains, especially the most obscure ones. It is said that Fernel is capable of concocting magic potions, made from sheep urine, hare blood, and the left hind leg of a weasel marinated in vinegar. Catherine de Medici is not surprised. In her day, science and esotericism are considered equal. But she does not want to rely on just any remedy. If she visits Fernel, it is specifically for one of his talents. Like her, he has a love of metals and gemstones. Catherine decides to entrust him with her secret plan. Her last resort. She wants Fernel to make her a talisman that will guarantee her place on the throne.
Well, the Renaissance is a time when all kinds of knowledge comes together, an interaction with ancient beliefs, and even, let's use the word, witchcraft. Renaissance jewelry reflects the context of its time, especially the curiosity and the belief in all of these connections. You had to be able to do astrology to be a doctor during the Renaissance. So we have to realize, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of that time.
Fernel is surprised and slightly worried by Catherine de Medici's demand. But how could the doctor refuse a request coming directly from the Dauphine herself? The memoirs of the time even claim that Fernel also made an unusual promise to Catherine's husband, Henri. When the king inquired about an heir, the doctor is said to have replied, "It is up to God, sire, to give you children by his blessing. It is up to you to make them, and it is up to me to provide the medicine that can remedy human infirmities." And so Fernel sets to work, crafting a talisman commissioned by Catherine, one that would fuse jewelry art and alchemy. An abraxas. The design of the mold into which the molten metal will be cast draws on the repertoire of pagan religions, astronomy, and astrology. On one side, a woman with the head of a bird holds out a mirror to a king seated on his throne. On the other side, an Egyptian cross or symbol of life lies above a naked woman. And everywhere, Hebrew names, royal monograms, and mysterious symbols. Catherine draws strength and solace from the thought that this talisman is like a shield, protecting her against her love rival, the miserable Diane of Poitiers.
Deciphering Catherine de Medici's talisman is both very amusing and difficult and even a little risky, but it can certainly be understood quite easily as a love talisman. And of course, the Hebrew phrase, Nekar Hofer Baal, from the stranger, please preserve my husband. And what's clear about the intended effect of this talisman was to protect from Diane de Poitiers. Beyond this strange amulet and its supposed powers, we should also note that in the 16th century, jewelry really played a very important role, not only as a symbol of wealth, but as an attribute of the person, an attribute of their power. So jewelry of queens and princesses had to reflect the new status of Renaissance women who now are beginning to be involved in politics, who are proud of their knowledge, their education, their humanism. The jewelry of these queens and princesses reflects the fact that in England, the new status of Renaissance women, in politics, women are becoming queens. In France, they are regents. And of course, Catherine de Medici is going to become, she's the daughter of a family that had produced popes in Rome and was incredibly wealthy, and now she's going to become Queen of France. She's a perfect example of all of this. She's not just a queen, she's also a great patron of the arts. She has painters she supports like François Clouet, and she gives enormous support to writers like Montaigne and like Ronsard.
Catherine unconsciously fingers the small abraxas she now wears around her neck. The sensation of the cold metal makes her smile. She is suddenly reminded of Ronsard's poem. Through this sweet pain, I adore the beauty, who binding me with meek cruelty, loosens me from the bonds of ignorance. Through her I learn the mysteries of love. Through her I learn what hope can do. Through her my soul returns to heaven. This poem describes how love can bring knowledge, overcoming passion and fear. Just like the talisman Catherine had crafted, the abraxas ultimately led to her own triumph. Yes, the aging Catherine muses. She had this abraxas medal made out of love rather than despair. And in the end, it brought her considerable good fortune. Yet there are two sides to every medal, and her abraxas is no exception. On the one hand, in 1559, she lost her beloved husband Henri, then King of France, under the name of Henri II. But on the other, she never abdicated, nor was she chased from power. After 10 years of marriage, she finally gave her husband and the crown 10 children, 3 of whom would be kings. Above all, she managed to trump her rival, Diane of Poitiers. With tired fingers, Catherine contemplates her abraxas, a mischievous glint in her eye. Perhaps it really was thanks to this small metal talisman, covered in cryptic symbols, that led Venus to smile upon her and grant her her wish. Voice of Jewels, a podcast from L'École School of Jewelry Arts, supported by Cleef Arpels. With Inezita Gay-Eckel, jewelry historian and lecturer at L'École School of Jewelry Arts, written by Martin Quenehen and Aram Kebabdjian. Performed by Edoardo Ballerini and produced by Bababam.